So this is my very first day. This is day one with Alibre CAD. This is Alibre Design Professional version 21. Never used this before, and I want to test myself in making a wheel to see if I can catch on to this pretty quick. I remember doing something similar with FreeCAD. I made a wheel in FreeCAD as one of my first models, and that was really rewarding. So this time I want to try it with no beforehand practice. We're just going to see how I pick up Alibre here. I did notice in the utilities section, system options, that I have a keyboard shortcut section, and if I go to part editor, sketch, I can actually customize shortcuts for hotkeys. I think this is the easiest interface I've ever seen to do something like this in a CAD platform, and I think I've only ever seen FreeCAD be able to do something like this, so I think it's pretty remarkable. I set my own hotkeys. It has V for vertical, H for horizontal, S for symmetric, T for tangent. So hopefully that will be good. I made it just like FreeCAD. And let's get started here. Let's start a new file. And again, I want to make a wheel very similar to the one that I made a long time ago when I first started using FreeCAD. So we're going to take this as kind of a litmus test to see if I can use this well or not. I've got a keyboard monitor here, so you can see my mouse and keyboard strokes. I'm going to stick it right up there where it's not obvious, and you'll be able to see hotkeys if you're wondering what I do. So there, I just hit the Q key by accident because my microphone was in front of my face. So let's start sketching here. I want to activate a sketch, and if I go to a trimetric view, it looks like the views are up here. Oh, isometric, and it looks like our XZ plane would be like our top plane here. So I'm going to create a circle, and we're just going to make the mounting plate for the wheel. Maybe I'll do some other mounting plates here, and I think it's shift that you hit when you want to select multiple things, and V. Yes, that hotkey I put in works. That is beautiful. Whoops, but I think, yeah, I think I have to exit out of the constraint. So that's cool. If I hit V, I can just click these two, and I don't have to select both. That's really cool. So now we have horizontal and vertical constraints everywhere. Oh, I didn't make a hotkey for equal, but I'm sure I could do that maybe after I do this video here. Okay, perfect. So I think I just need a little practice sketching constraints, but it's all working quite well. Let's say our mounting plate is 6 inches. And you know what? I think I'm going to actually make a 5-lug wheel. Right, so there's vertical, we want this to be something like 1/2 inch. Let's see, I think it's 114.7 millimeters divided by 2 is a reasonable lug pattern. I'm not sure, so don't trust me on that, but it looks reasonable for what I'm doing here, so I'm just going to roll with it. Now there's probably a way to do some sketch patterns here. Oh, looks like right here. So let's, this little thing comes up here. Let's select this object. We want 5 instances, and our center will be here. And there we go. That's your instance pattern. That's your total pattern there. So that's the option that we want, and we're going to say OK. Awesome. Now I think we just need to size these things up here. And cool. It's not like SolidWorks where you have to go back and click on the same size one. You can just keep on clicking and it makes everything equal. That's a handy feature. Okay, well, looks like I still have some position undefines here. It's nice that they give you a little color key. So yeah, hey, it looks like it doesn't automatically, and in fact I think I have some reference geometry here. I'm just going to put in a bolt circle and we can go ahead and constrain this up. There we go. Okay, I want to do this fully constrained, so we'll just grab a construction line. And I can simply give that an angle, right, of 360 divided by 5 is what I meant to say. There we go. Let's try that again. And I think it'd be convenient. Let's draw line, line, and yet, you know what? I don't think I need another line there. Let's just do another 72-degree angle. Right, so there's our wheel. I'm going to hit my H key that I programmed. That is really cool. Of course, I have to get out, get back in here, horizontal. Bam. All right. So it looks like these were made equal. We'll just have to add a equal constraint here, and we are fully defined. No orange or red. That's phenomenal. There's some blue right. Oh, there we go. Cool. I'm going to add in a center circle on my mounting plate as well. Let's give that. Oh, 2 inches. I'm going to deactivate sketch here, and it looks like you have, just like in SolidWorks, additive material, subtracting material, some whole wizard stuff. This ribbon looks a lot like SolidWorks. I think they did a pretty good job at making people who've used other platforms feel at home here. So on Extrude I have this little menu pop up. We're going to go with 1/2 inch deep, and that looks about right to me. All right, and those are pretty nice graphics. Those are really good. So let's sketch on this face here. And the first thing, let's make an arc. And yeah, that looks like a center point arc. I can do that. I like my 3-point arcs. So I'm going to grab on there. We can grab this point and this point, and let's go with coincident here. There we are. Let's grab an equal constraint here, and I'm sure once I finish programming my hotkeys, this will be a lot faster, and it makes you really appreciate how fast FreeCAD is, because I'm basically going to be putting in just my FreeCAD hotkeys. I think FreeCAD and Onshape is very similar as well. They have the best hotkeys there are, and because of the functions in Alibre, you can have them just like that or however you want. I think that's brilliant platform. Okay, we're going to come around here, and I'm sketching out a profile for the spoke. Awesome. It looks like that was constrained well. So we're going to make equal and equal. And I do have the symmetric mapped out, so I might as well try that, right? So we're gonna S for symmetric, grab this point. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong there. All right, but that's nice. You know, just for the ease of constraints, let's get rid of that and make that into 2 lines. We'll use vertical, and I'll have to go with equal. There we go. Let's add a horizontal dimension here, and here let's go with 2.5. .75. Again, I'm totally making this up as I go along. Maybe I'll add an angle here and make that a little bit tighter, right? 75 degrees. That's kind of a deep dish spoke extreme wheel. That could look either really cool or really dumb. We'll find out. I also want to add some sketch fillets. Looks like there. And this is the menu that comes up. I want to make that something more like 75 thou or something small. Oh, looks like I need to select the lines to create that fillet. Okay, here to here. Nice little preview. There to there to there to there. Yeah, I think my line here. So let's Control Z out of that. Here's what I'm going to do. These are keeping us centered, and that's quite important. So maybe if I right click, there it is, convert to reference. That's the ticket. Alright, so those are 2 reference lines now, and what I can do is add a driving line in here, and let's hope that that improves my fillet quality. In fact, why don't I just add a 3-point arc in place of that? And I've got my tangent hotkey mapped out. That works out pretty nicely. There we go. Beautiful. And then I have a much easier time adding in fillets. So fillet 75 thou from there to there and there. Okay, let's just not worry about that. Okay. Okay, so I believe that we have a good sketch. So let's deactivate that. I'm going to come up with a reference sketch here. And let's go with the sketch. And I want this to be just for reference. So we're going to do that same trick that I just learned. Where is it? Convert to reference figures. Bam. Let's say we want this to be a 19-inch wheel, right? One of those cool ones. We'll go with dimension, 19 inches in diameter. Now I want to define a plane so that I can loft my spoke a little bit past what we're doing here. So let's make a plane. Where's reference geometry? There it is. There we go. We're going to say distance 9 inches. We're going to apply and close. Now I can sketch on this plane. This is also where we would define the offset of our mounting plate. So let's activate a 2D sketch here. And yes, this is looking good, right? So we have our 2D sketch. Let's get our view normal again. How do I do that? There we go. So I'm going to do, let's do a 0 offset, because I drive a Supra, that's a 0 offset, and finding a 4-lug 114.7 millimeter by 0 offset is actually really hard to find, at least cool ones. So when I was younger, I almost put the Rota boost on the Supra, but then I ended up going with a much more expensive name, if that implies anything. I'm using these lines. In fact, I should have used those reference lines, but I can just right click and oh cool, so that you can draw a reference line from that menu. I want to convert to reference figure. Right, so we're going to assume that this is the face that mounts to the hub, and this is the face that takes the lug nuts, and this is the face that determines the offset. So I have two equal lines implying a 0 offset. Let's go with a dimension here, and we'll make that, how wide do I want to go? We want a pretty wide tire, right? 8-inch wide. 9. Perfect. So we have a nice little reference as to what the width of our wheel is going to look like and where the mounting plate sits in there. You of course can make your own offset if you would like. I'm going to make a similar but wider sketch, and I think I can take advantage of this. I think we had a 3-point arc. I don't think that little SolidWorks arc trick happens in this program, so we'll just grab a rim point arc, and then there and there. Fantastic. Let's go with equal, and we're going to make these equal, right? And then equal, equal, tangent, tangent, and then I can add in, I can add in a vertical constraint there. Wonderful. So if I look at my previous sketch, yep, I've got the same number of elements, and I don't know how important that is in this program, but most want you to have the same number of elements for a loft. So I think we're on the right track here. Let's change the view again back to how it was, and start defining this. So now let's go with 2 inches, right? So we're 4 inches wide. Let's go with maybe 1 inch tall. The other one was 1/2 inch, so I think that's a good proportion to grow by. That's cool. I can just click this and choose the dimension from the menu. 1 inch seems good to me. Now if this is the very top of the wheel, I want to move this whole thing down just a hair. 3 is probably good. Let's go with this angle here, and 90, right? So it'll kind of slope as it lofts upward. That's pretty cool. Maybe just a vertical distance at that tangent point, just to be a final thing to fully constrain it. So we're going to say OK on that. Let's choose this plane, create a sketch. There we go. Alrighty. How do splines work in this? Are there any tangent handles or anything? I think this is a straight up spline. I'll investigate that further and let you know. For now, I'm going to go with more of an arc profile just to make sure that I have control over it, because it would be important for me to have a tangent to vertical relationship on this path. And I accidentally added a constraint there. Of course I did. Let's add instead a coincident, right? Maybe even, yeah, right on that point. I like how it added that construction line for me automatically. That helped out. Let's see if the SolidWorks here, control 1, yeah, they do, 2, 3, 4. So SolidWorks view control hotkeys are the same. That actually seems like a nice radius to initially come out with. Let's make that 1.5 just to be a nice even number. And then our other sketch is right there. So hopefully it'll allow me to reference this other sketch. It might not. If not, I know that my distance here, because I don't think it's, so I'm just gonna grab here to here, 9 inches, right? Because we know that our sketch was set 9 inches out. I have this sketch center, which I know I want to be vertical, right? We're just constraining what we know we want to constrain. We have a tangent here. And then the question is, how high? And it looks like, oh, it looks like I didn't add my vertical relation in like I thought about doing, right? So I think we have only 1 degree of freedom, I think. And it's how high is that point? That should be pretty easy to find out because I did oops. Because I did something in sketch 4 earlier, so 3 inches from the origin. That is nice and simple. We'll head on back to sketch 5, edit, and we'll add in a dimension. So we know that we start at the bottom of here and go to the bottom of here, and hopefully that'll be kind of a cool profile. This is telling me that my sketch is not closed. I'm going to ignore that warning, and I think it will be acceptable as long as, you know, I'm using a guide curve. So let's choose this loft feature here. Maybe I can choose this in the GUI. Yeah, looks like I can go from here to here. Let's choose a guide curve there, and I don't see a preview. I don't know if that's a bad sign. Oh, wow, that turned out to be kind of a neat little spoke. Sweet. So that went just fine. I really like how that worked. Now I can even add, I bet I can add a fillet up here if I do something like an 1/8 inch fillet. Wow, nice. To here. Okay, let's close that. So we've made a cool little wheel. I want to pattern this, and I don't know how my fillets are going to pattern, so this will be a nice little case study. Let's go with a circular pattern and go here. And it looks like it doesn't have any qualms about adding a fillet in. We want 5 spokes. This looks like the better option. We want to choose our center. Hopefully I can just choose a circular face, and that worked beautifully. Nice preview. Okay. Wow. So that's our wheel. Let's go with fillet. And yeah, radius of, well, maybe I can do a 0.125 because I'm taking a radius around the same radius here, so I think theoretically that works. Now, a wise modeler should save all their fillets till the end, but I'm a little bit excited right now. So it looks like I got an error there. Let's close that, and I think it's because I selected the wrong stuff. Yep, I chose a face in there, and I don't want that face. So let me try that one more time. In fact, looks like, yeah. Let me just delete this fillet, and it looks like I need to edit this fillet. So here, 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 and here. Bam. Well, nice work with fillets. On that same note, I want to check out this chamfer, right? Maybe I can add some chamfers. A 1/4 inch chamfer should take us halfway down that hole. So let's apply that. Works nice. And also, let's try a 0.125 chamfer here. Excellent. Superb. Again, fillets and chamfers should be at the end of a design. I'm just way too excited to start to see this wheel come to life. I made up those spokes right on the spot, and I'm quite pleased with how they're looking so far. So let's make a sketch on this plane. And I want to sketch out a wheel profile now. Right, so that's the lip that catches your tires. And before it gets too complex, let's add some dimensions onto that. This is going to be a 19-inch wheel. Oh, and I think I only lofted those spokes out to 18. Let's see. 9-inch would take us out to 18. Yeah, I need to make those spokes a little bit longer. So, oops, and it of course got after me for not having a closed profile, so let's ignore that. That goes back to how I define my plane. So I should, in a parametric program, be able to take this out even further. Yeah. And now we should be able to rebuild, right? So I'll just drag my bar down. Well, maybe... Oh, so I've got a little guide curve error, and that makes sense because I did not constrain that guide curve to that sketch. I think there's a way to do it. I just need to figure out how. So let's ignore might have to step through this one at a time. There we go. Looks like everything is rebuilding nicely. Perfect. Let's go onto the YZ plane. Actually, I've already got my sketch. So let's edit the existing sketch. Now we want to make a 19-inch wheel. And it looks like math works in here, so that's good. We also want a width. I think I set the width to be 9 inches. Gosh, it'd be nice if I premeditate this a little bit more. So let's go with a width of 9 divided by 2 and see where that takes us. And that's about right. So let's go with that. Right. So I've got this profile going, and wheels will often, have a little secondary down part right there, just like that. I'm not sure if, yeah, that's not constrained, so we're going to say horizontal to that point. Beautiful. Yeah, let's do that. And then, now if we want that to be our outer width, it'll have to be like this. We're going to go horizontal. And how thick do we want this? I don't even know what the standard thickness is for wheels. I'm going to take a stab or a guess. I'm going to call it 0.1 inches. And of course we have a little bit of overlap here, right? So I'll draw a line from here to here, and that gives me the opportunity to add in a few relations. We're going to grab equal from here to there. That ensures that those are equal. And then for design intent, we can grab in some construction geometry. Right, and I can say that these are equal, and then I got one dimension that will update everything. We'll add in parallel there. Excellent. And then and in a construction, oh, look at that, it even highlights your midpoints. So we want a perpendicular relation. there to there, and another equal relation to ensure a constant thickness throughout. Whoop. But I did something wrong, so let's grab equal there to there. Even better. And now we can just start adding some generic dimensions here. Maybe 0.25. I don't know if that's enough for a bead to sit in or not, but that's what I'm going with. Let's go with 0.75. Let's go with 120, right? That's nice, like a circle divided by 3 kind of thing. We're going to come over here, and 1 is fine, and we're fully defined. That's excellent. I actually want to toggle this for construction, and we can mirror that to the other side of our wheel. So, looks like I'm going to take a stab at highlighting everything, choosing mirror. This menu comes up. Looks like it captured everything I highlighted, and we want to mirror about that line. And we're fully defined again. So I think this is coming together pretty well. I want now to go with, and there's you know, like in CAD, there's a number of ways to do this. This is day 1 for me, and there's probably a way that you can do a revolved cut, delete the body, do another revolved cut, and then or do another revolve, and this time adding material. I don't know if I want to figure that out on camera and bore everybody to death, so I'm just going to do a revolve cut here. No, you know what? Actually, let's do an additive revolve. I think that'll be a faster route to get to where we're going. So this is the revolve menu. Of course, that's our sketch we want to revolve. That's our axis. Looks like everything is good. I really like the way that the axes are implemented. Wow, that's pretty sharp looking. I really like the way that the axes are implemented around here, because SolidWorks, I've always had to sketch out an axis, and it's just a nice shortcut to not have to worry about that. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's super cool. Okay, let's go on the YZ. We'll do another sketch. And I wonder if I can convert entities somehow. Now again, I won't go hunting around right now. That seems like it would be kind of a waste of everyone's time, so let's keep the video rolling here. If I were in SolidWorks, I would delete face on these guys. So if I go to model, let's see, direct edit, remove. That could be promising. I'm going to try this remove and see what happens. Oh, I think I just hit the jackpot. I can't believe I found that. I swear to you, I promise you, this is my first time using this platform. Except I've messed all this up. Let's reset and try again. Maybe I'll just do this one at a time. There we go. Look at that. Bam, that made a tough job pretty easy. Apply. What a great tool. So direct editing, I think, is made for imported geometry. I think I didn't click all the faces on that one. So apply. Very powerful. So this should also be able to then edit SolidWorks files or steps or something like that, some kind of file that doesn't have a tree on it, because this is all direct editing. Bam! Wow, that is sick. I love that. If I were smart, I would have put radiuses, excuse me, on these sharp points. I think that might have bored people to tears, as I find this to be kind of a slower moving video for me anyway. But wow, what a nice result here. Let's continue on. I think adding more fillets and maybe a hole for the hose to, you know, fill up the tire. That shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. Okay, let's do that. Let's make some fillets. Let's see what a 0.1 fillet looks like. I like that. So I'm just going to fill it all around here. I don't know if it liked that. Oh, it did. It did. Oh, wait, I've got some errors down here in remove face. Oh, looks like I missed face there. So that was fixed. Maybe adding these fillets threw off the direct edit here, because I know I selected more faces than that. No. Everything looks, oh wow. So fillets may be changing these face IDs. And yeah, this is coming in as highlighted, so let's clear all. In fact, I'm just going to delete this feature. And let's delete this feature. So our tree looks like it doesn't have any errors in it anymore. I'm going to keep a close eye on that as I add more fillets. Worst case, we would delete face after we've added our fillets. So let's add another round of fillets and see how this responds. That's pretty interesting. Those fillets look good, and our remove face is holding steady. Looks like my sketch right here is showing, and that isn't to my liking, so I'm going to see if I can hide that sketch somehow. In fact, hide that plane too. It's like in SolidWorks, I sketch these things and then when I'm done I want them gone. I don't see them as being hideable for some reason. So I'll just try to ignore them as I go. So the fillet seems pretty strong in this program. You can fillet stuff pretty well. I wasn't expecting some of those fillets to work out. So I have a fillet down here that I would like to continue on without making my history tree a gazillion fillets long. So let me continue down here. Man, it liked that. So I'm just trying to get used to this fillet interface and seeing if I should be looking out for anything. It looks like the previews are those lines that show up. So they do provide you a preview of the fillet. This is looking really good. There we go. It looks like there aren't that many reservations from this program on stacking up a whole bunch of fillets. Let's give that a try and just make sure before I get too far along. Yep, it looks like all those fillets worked. We're having a great fillet day. I'm going to continue here. Looks like all of those things are working. I don't know if I am 100% sure what an error looks like with these fillets, so I don't really know if I'm going to get an error or not yet, since, you know, this is day one. Oh wow, so I can choose the whole face. It looks like it's going to work. I kind of hesitate to choose whole faces because you lack a little bit of control on there, but this looks happy. Wow, it liked it. That is a pretty powerful ability to fillet there. Let's do another round here. Let's make this 1/8 of an inch. I bet I can get away with being a little bit bigger, and maybe I can just get in here. These areas that I get in trouble when I try to do it in SolidWorks, so looks like I'm still getting away with having working fillets. This is great. Let's add a fillet here. And I don't know if this is going to work or not because this is getting kind of complex. Oh, it looks like we broke. Looks like I get this little error sign when a fillet breaks. So let's not do that then. I'll just leave those sharp for now. And I can fillet back here. Now I should be a little bit more considerate in my fillets and have a constant thickness for these. That would mean that this outer fillet would be the size of this inner fillet plus material thickness. I'm not being that careful right now. So do as I say, not as I do, I guess. Because this is just kind of a quick and dirty test to see what I can get done. And wow, this is really powerful. Hardly any fillet errors at all, and no error on that. So looks like I can't explain what happened with that delete face earlier. It was probably a user error, but I think we made a really cool wheel. I think I made it in pretty good time for having never used this. This is a great program. Oh, you know what? I was going to make one of those, you know, filler holes. So let's see if I can do that here. Let's do a plane. I want to do a plane. Let's go with 3 points. And I'm going to just approximate being normal to this whole thing. And those 3 points probably are consistent enough. So we've made a plane. Let's go with a 2D sketch on this plane. How's that for a view? And I'm seriously just going to eyeball this. I don't even know what these valve stem holes should be in dimensions. So I'm going to make this 1/2 inch in diameter. And let's go with 8.75, and I guess I can add in a vertical relation. Let's go with Extrude. Let's go through all. This is the Extrude, of course. Awesome, that looks really good. So I think I'm going to end it there. Wow, so is Alibre CAD easy to use? For being able to make this in less than an hour after having never done this before at all, I'm going to say yes. This is easy to pick up. This is familiar like SolidWorks. I think the tools are very effective. I got through it with very few errors, and it acted just as I thought it would act. I've used a lot of CAD programs, and I would feel comfortable recommending this one. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.